Okay, we'll show like this. Okay, so just a little about me. So it's already 20 years I draw outside, like streets and nature. Yeah.
这是老师20年前在大自然写生的样子。
Yeah, so it was like art college. We go to travel, we draw different. Then I was in Moscow, draw in every crazy environment under hot sun, -15. Moscow here.
然后接着他就到世界各地去旅行，然后在各式各样极端的环境，酷暑或是下大雪的时候画画。
France.
右边在法国。
So like now I draw stuff and.
情景是台湾
大溪，对，大溪那边那个线条的，对，在那边。
Oh, okay. So draw like murals on the walls. So here's like in my house. I was thinking it's like too many walls. I want to have more view. So it's like a draw view to Paris.
在他家里，他就觉得家里墙壁太多了，想要多一点景，他就直接在家里的墙壁上画上那个巴黎的街景。
Yeah, so it's like just want to show like difference. Like I like draw this kind of view and also this kind of view. But it's very uncomfortable to stay there.
然后或者是像这样子，我们在台北或者说在大溪常看的街景，他都会画下来。
Yeah, and here also is interesting about I was understanding also value of landscapes and art on the walls. It really feels like a view in a window. It's like you're walking around and you really feel like here I have a window with a view to Paris. Even I know it's a drawing, but it's changed your feeling in the house.
那有时候一幅画就像一个观景窗一样，那即使是你自己心里知道那是一幅画，但它还是会去改变你心里的感受。
So also do sometimes sketching different stuff. Here was Miss Stanley Fun, like I go in different school, she tells story and I draw her.
然后像这样，就是有时候像幼稚园或者图书馆会有讲故事的活动，然后他在那边就会把活动的一个场景给画下来。
My IG, you can find the papers.
对，所以如果要追踪的话，就可以扫描一下，老师都会把他的作品给放上去他的社群平台。
Okay.
好了吗？我们下一页。
请问老师在画的时候会用铅笔先打吗？还是直接就画？
Do you prefer to use the pencil to make a simple structure than pen?
Yeah, I mean, like I always try watercolor, acrylic, everything. I just most enjoy ink, pencil ink, and some watercolor. I also don't like much watercolor.
他还是习惯直接用他现有的工具就直接画了，他并不会特别有一个用铅笔先打草稿的习惯。那当然是因为他已经很熟练了。
Because like all this very important is like what all you're thinking around what you do. So like what you think about art, what you think about what you're doing, like when you draw, what is reason, why you do this, how you do this, and all the small details. All is just like what you think is make your art different from others, right? Because everybody has their own different idea, taste, and all this stuff.
那其实每个人作画的时候呢，除了你看到的事情本身之外，通常也会去带入你的一些想法。我为什么要画这张画？我看到这个画或者这个景象，我想到什么？那我想要借由画画去表达什么？那其实，在作画的过程，即使是同样一个场景，每个人画出来都不一样。那这个过程才会是让你的作品独一无二的一个部分。
So, and one of the most fundamental for artist who's like full-time artist, professional, or just like he draw all the time. One of the most important quality is you just should enjoy process. So that's why you choose which material will more like normal for you. It's not like oh, I'm super happy every time, but I will never disgust by this. I will never say like I cannot hold this anymore, like so disgusting. No, it will be always fine for me to use pencil. Oil painting, like after a couple months, I was like, well, I don't want to do oil painting anymore. Like I have like sometimes I want to come back to do oil painting after I do like, no.
那其实，在作画过程，尤其是对于全职艺术家来说，每一个步骤都会很像是一个玩实验的一个部分。那他希望大家在画画的时候，也是保持一个快乐的心情，就不要因为觉得说我好像画不好水彩，我控制不了这个媒材而产生一个沮丧的心理。它就是一个过程。那他也许这一个月很集中的在画某一样素材，有可能这一个月很集中的在画水彩，但也许这个月画腻了之后，我下个月就换一个别的工具去画，这都是还蛮有可能的。
That's why it is difference between like a beginner or somebody who just draw one picture or 5 pictures. They have no idea about anything yet. You will understand what you can do after like you do it 100 times, 1,000 times. Is okay, this I can do forever. So then it's like you're more and more narrow to some specific tool or theme. Like what do you like to draw? Maybe only cats. I don't know.
那像初学者，他可能一开始拿到工具都不知道自己可以做什么，可以干嘛。但是5张、10张、100张之后，渐渐掌握了这些媒材跟工具，会越来越知道自己想要画什么，怎么操作，怎么使用，自己擅长的东西是什么。然后即使是小朋友也一样，小朋友可能一开始拿到工具都不知道怎么用，就拿起笔来随意的画。可是久了之后，他们就会知道说自己喜欢用什么样的方式去画画。
Okay, so like it's very interesting. No matter what your skill, it's always same process actually. So, and it's always about how you break down, like how you break down your subject, like how you see your task, right? So you need to break down on the elements, and then you see like, okay, these elements I can use to make something. It's kind of such simple thing. And the second, you need to know like process, kind of like first step I will do this, second step I will do that. Yeah, so just like first I want to say this.
那其实每一位绘画的人，不论程度怎么样，他都会经历一定步骤的绘画过程。就是当你看到某一个风景或某个事物的时候，我们要先拆解它的元素，把它的众多的元素拆解成一块一块之后呢，我们再来去分段处理它。那久了之后，可能每个人都会有自己习惯的步骤，或是你可能把步骤1、2加在一起，步骤3、4加在一起，但基本上这个过程是大家一定要去经历的。
Yeah, so here it's like my sequence, which is I do all the time. First, it's kind of cool, like this observation and study. It means like you need to understand what you're working with.
那这些是老师他通常在绘画时会经历的步骤，比如说第一步一定会去观察跟分析眼前看到的事物，它可以拆解成哪些元素。
Because like what is problem, like if you're a beginner or no matter, like more you advance, more your vision became more complex. You just start to see more details, more things to use, to put in your picture kind of.
那其实，在我们一般的人的视线的习惯，我们会习惯抓越多的线索越好。我们希望我们一次看到的越多东西越好，然后很想要把我们所有看到的东西都放到画里面。但其实这样子的话，一开始的处理的东西会非常复杂。
So first day, after 10 years, after 20 years, you will be in this situation when it's like, okay, like I wish to draw this. But it's crazy. It's impossible to draw. It's so many stuff here. Like how to draw like this one all together, for example. like okay, I need to make some wide angle perspective. Like if I will draw everything, I need more than my life to really draw what I see here, kind of, you know.
那当我们一心只想要把我们所有看到的东西都画下来的话，但其实是有点像是你处理的资讯有点过大、过庞杂。那这样的话，就相对于你需要更多的时间来处理这么多的讯息。
So it's written, I hope, oh my god. Writer Evgeny Hemingway, he says this exercise about how to become good writer. He said it's just, no matter where you, just doing this exercise, just start to spell in your mind what is happening right now. Like what do you see, how do you feel, what is where, like kind of like you're writing prose in your head about situation right now. And this just this thing, like if you start to think about it, it will make you a genius if you really practice this thing. So point here is like just mention it. When you start to mention things, okay, now you start to understand what do you looking at. Like you say, like, okay, what is this situation? Okay, we have 3 tables. It's something, right? So we have on the table, we have phones, or not only mine, so you can know, okay, easy remember. Like say like my phone, and some people also bring phones, so it's like very easy to remember. And all other stuff. I mentioned my heads. I can say projector, I can say we have bags on the floor, we have books on the shelves. So I should to pronounce it for myself, like verbalize, put it in the words.
那老师有举到一个作家的例子，是海明威。那海明威就分享过说，你要怎么成为一个好的作家，就是你每天都要练习你在脑海里面去叙述现在发生了什么事情，就有点像是你在脑海里面写作一样，然后每天的练习，直到这个成为一个习惯自然。那绘画也是一样，然后你看你在一个情境里面，你就要开始很自动自发的去分析说，我在什么样的空间，这个空间里面有什么？比如说我们的教室有3张桌子，那桌子上面摆放了前面的有画、有投影机、有手机、有老师的平板，那中间的桌子有什么东西，后面桌子有什么东西，很习惯性的去分析我们现在的环境里面的物件。
Yeah. So and then. I don't think how to make it simple. Like first you mention it, you have your own focus, like why, first of all, why you want interested in this place, right? So you will mention something first and you will keep it as a focus. Then you can walking around and like think what else you want to notice. And then you will need to choose what you put on your drawing. So, but this is super essential. It's a core for every serious artist. Without this, you just cannot draw. All this will be nonsense, completely, like absolutely guarantee. It's a zero value in the arts. If you cannot be clear and precise what you're working with, what is in your hands. It's like I'm a drunk, like I don't know like what I'm wearing, what I have in my hands, like what is my name, like where am I, kind of this.
那再来的话，就是我们要去决定我们要处理哪一些物件。就比如说这个教室这么大，可是你不可能360度环境就是一次画完所有东西，所以通常我们都要先找一个角落聚焦，就是我选择我处理这个场景，我选择我处理这个东西，然后再把专注力集中在你最想要处理的事情上面，然后要清楚的了解到说我要面对的是什么。
So then we go next, more advanced, like next step. It's to understand structure. How all this related to each other, and then it's like really like you start to be like a sushi, logic and math.
那我们锁定了一个物件了之后呢，就开始去联想它跟周遭物件的关联。比如说这个桌子在前面，它跟左右前后其他物件的关联是什么？
Yeah, I made some video to explain.
You might say, from here, I see the start of Haping Road. marking the beginning of the old street to my right. Ahead, the road guides my eye.
Quality. Change quality.
And the right up.
You see the sounds ridiculous. Yeah, so here I make video where it's
Face towards a gate and Fuji temple.
how I
To the
analyze
left, an old stone road winds down towards the river.
投影
In the
机的
distance,
声音可以
I
关
can see
单
the
独关
river,
掉吗？
hills, and a bridge bustling with cars and other vehicles. On the hills, tall apartment buildings and roads can be seen. In the sky above, clouds drift lazily and birds fly. Between the front lane and stone, it is crucial to structure horizon and an area
So here,
with temple.
so here you see like this
对，应该
view.
从平板。
First I break down in this two main area. So one area is this like flat on which I stand in, where is located this kind of temple, shrine, tree. And the other area is this like which is moving downward and far away. And the sky also includes this like a far away view. So we have like relationship of two main general groups, two areas.
那刚刚的街景啊，我们把这个街景先区分成2个部分，就是蓝色跟粉红色。那蓝色呢，就是跟艺术家站的是同一个层、同一个平面、同一条道路。那后面的粉红色呢，左边的粉红色有一个往下的斜坡，然后右上的粉红色是远方的天空。所以他先把跟他接近的前景跟后景区分开来。
试试看
The
从
street
平
and
板
focus
关
on
掉。
this dualism.
因为
Then I will notice what
对，试试看，没有用吗？平板的声音关掉看看。因为据我所知 ，HDMI 线是音讯跟视讯一起的，对，同步的。
然后这台又没有办法单独调整。
如果是那个它原来的音频关掉看看，声音关掉。
No, no, I can't. It's not should off this here I can't. It says like control by it's control by this. Yeah. So
不行啊。
因为毕竟他的平板我比较不好意思乱碰。
对啊，平板的声音关掉应该。
okay. So then you see start to analyzing like each group inside this area on the groups. So like here we have like this hill going down and we have far view.
然后老师现在慢慢把2个区块的景色稍微再显露出来，就可以看到说我们左边又可以再去细分成2个区块，就是往下的坡道跟远景的山。
main groups that these two.
So here I make this like example. So this kind of this logic how it works, right? So we have two groups, then inside of them we keep dividing, keep put some specific.
那可以看一下左上的表格跟下方的那个结构图，就有点像是你把一个景物去分析层分析成不同结构。
他站在那里的当下就这样子做分析。
对，就是要练习把你的脑海，就是头脑训练成
切块，
对，像这样子。当你看到一个东西之后，就很自然的就去分析。
So, yeah. So then you see, like I was breaking more and more from general to specific. So also, like if it says it's like I want to draw this sink. That's two forces you're more interested, right? So somebody like opens this sink. But what is that? You know? Then I look, okay, we have this part, which can be like that. We have this joint here. We have this thing connecting to this thing. Now I understand what I'm looking at. Now I can like if I practice how to draw in 3D objects, I can draw from any angle because I just know what is that. If I just look at that, so it's not nothing. It's nothing. We all have this like tendency to easy shortcuts. Like oh everybody, it's easy. I see it obvious. No, it's not obvious. You need to break it down. And it's always will be like main quality. It's like one of the most important quality in your work is like how do you break down. Professional artists will always see you understand or not. Average people, they will not see, but they will. It's a way how you impact on them, how you influence on them. If you have understanding, you have more control, you have more power. You can work with your picture.
那刚刚我们把画面拆开以后再重新组起来，可以看到说老师这幅画就是刚刚我们的用来分析的那个场景。那同样的道理可以运用在一个很小的东西上，比如说他常常用来工作的手机支架。那一个简单的手机支架，你也可以把它拆分成中间支架、下面夹的地方，然后上面有可以转动的关节跟夹手机的部分。那这些小部分组起来才是一只完整的手机架。那你已经掌握你的手机架的这个形态了之后呢，就开始去切换它的角度，从前面、从后面、从侧边，那不同的角度你都可以掌握的时候呢，你就等于说你已经完整的了解说这样物品它的形状到底是什么。
So and what it also give you when you go into next kind of step, what is benefit of this? Then you go into this quality when you can really make something essential because you work with differences. When you understand what you work with, you can start to say, okay, how is different? How is special? Like, okay, human head, tofa, nose, but we have different nose, we have different eyes. How do you understand and look different if you don't see in where we're different, right?
那我们去做了基本的结构分析之后，就开始去找寻这样物品的特征。那道理就有点像是我们每个人都有五官、手和脚，但是我们每个人的长相都不太一样，所以它就会等于说我们了解了一个基本的架构之后，再去区分出来说这个东西的特色是什么。
So let's say like a motorcycle, right? Just easy example. So all of them have this two longer wheel.
那我们就以摩托车来举例好了。那最基本的结构可能都是一个机身、两个轮胎，然后还有控制的龙头。
But then you see what is make difference, right? So maybe some will be like different location. So this is how designers make it look different, you know, right? You know what you're working with. We're working with wheels, we're working with colors, we're working with form. How I make my form different from others so people will see. Like I write this on the paper also there. Because this is what we're drawing. If your drawing is like nothing there, nothing different from other, or you don't know what kind of specific you want to emphasize, then it's kind of nothing. It's like very like this. It's like in the night, in the rain, somebody drunk walking home and he don't know what happened in his life.
那其实这些观察到不同的地方，才会是让你画出来的画有所区别性的一个蛮关键的一点。就像是我们刚刚讲的摩托车，左边跟右边我们都可以讲摩托车，可是它所绘画出来的最终表现就是不太一样。
Okay, so going next. Yeah, because it's like it's so many big subjects, but at least I need to mention. So later you can more work with this. So then when I'm thinking, I can spend like hours or days for this because maybe like here I've been many times. So I keep noticing stuff. And then one day I was like, okay, now I want to draw it. Right? So I will go to this stage. When I want to draw it, let's say on the paper. So then, how to do it? I will go to this sequence, right? Step by step. approach I suggest. It's to yeah. So
那其实老师已经来过这间教室好几次了，那也许他一直观察到某一个时刻，他才下决定说 ，OK， 我决定了我要画什么样的东西，然后才会真正的开始进入这绘画的环节。
So you will see like all other stuff I see now. I will face reality, what I really can do, like on this picture, how many stuff I can put, like can I put like, okay, like I don't know, like this people standing here, this kind of, here is a road.
那接下来就要决定我要放多少东西在这张有限的画纸里面。
So maybe sky here. Maybe airplane, an eagle, like it's ants on the ground, it's like people smoking here on the balcony or whatever. So many stuff, right? And then you can draw it like wide angle. You can draw like whole street, this way. But you see like okay, I can put only this thing and this thing here, right? I have like a limit. So I need to finally decide what will be on my picture. So you spend some time, like put it around. We will like erase, like say no, it's too close. Maybe here. I want here. Like change proportion. So you kind of work in some time with this. And before I did a lot of this thing, like thumbnails, like a small drawings. Because you can do fast just to think in this way, like what and where, how big, how small, like you see, like this one, cars here, blah, blah, blah. I think like it's a lot of difference.
接着你就可以去决定说，我的画所要收纳的范围到哪边。我可以画一个很宽的景，我也可以把画面局限在一个是小小的角落。那你就可以把左右上下边界在决定了之后呢，接下来你画面中每个物品的比例就可以开始慢慢的抓出来，哪个东西是靠近你的，哪个东西是远的，然后哪个房子对比起来是比较小的，那你的画面的层次感就会慢慢显现出来。
Then I will like when I have this small sketch, I will take like my paper size and will move from sketch to here, just to move these proportions here. Will be look something like this. So, and here, people talk and also like we can see in internet, it's like some popular thing about when we look artist, and it's like, oh my god, he's so cool, he draw without pencil, just draw in ink, right? Translate this.
Okay. 那有时候呢，我们可能会看到一些画家，他根本就不用铅笔，他就直接用钢笔或是带针笔就直接画了。
But it's totally not point here because like this artist, like say Kim Jong-gi for example, right? It's just like one thing from a lot of other things he do, and this thing is like a show. It's like people love to see some magic happen, kind of, right? But it's not all the time he draw like that. And it's a very big difference with artists like who draw before pencil. Some artists like will redraw 5 times, draw, redraw, destroy previous drawing and stuff. It's no matter how you do it. Important is just you get to result, kind of, right?
那即使是不用铅笔打草稿，直接就用笔可以画画的画家呢，也不代表说他马上就对他手上的作品满意了。也许他回家以后重新把那张画重新画了5次6次，直到他满意为止。所以其实有时候要不要用铅笔打草稿不是真正的重点。
So you can see like here also like I thinking about like where and what I will put. For me, what's very important to draw this narrow thing. Because here it's not so narrow, so it's like okay, I need to make sure it will be like this. So I was draw different. Also, I don't want this thing to be too big. So I was thinking like how can I distort it, how can I change. So it's right now, like for me, it's it's not anymore. Like it should from beginning forget about this. You don't try to draw something correct. It's a very simple thing to do. You will very fast to improve if you seriously draw. You will fast to learn how to draw something, and it's no point. More important is like right way to draw. Why you want to draw it this way? What exactly you want to draw? So be more specific. Be more like in your way. Have your own idea why you do it, for what reason, and then try to make it better.
那比如说像下面的这个蓝，我们先看右上角蓝色的草图好了。右上角蓝色的草图，老师先把2个高架桥中间的缝隙，有没有看到那个线条比较深的地方给画出来？因为对他来讲，他想要把这个缝隙当作是他的画的重点，他的画的中心点在哪边？所以以这个中心点呢，他就可以去往左右两边延伸，它的布局是什么？那同样一个场景，可能很多人画出来的东西都不太一样，看到的重点都不一样，所以决定一个画最后的成果，也就是说你要去怎么样，有点像是去操控这个画面你想要呈现的东西。
Well, anyway, so point here, every good thing here is a result of a right approach. It's a plan, it's arrangement, it's a thinking process. People will look at this and like, wow, you're so kind of lucky. It's like you have some kind of talent, and they're like, oh, you make beautiful pictures. Everything what make impact on you, it's built. This is what is make you artist. It's when you make impact, you make it. It's not like you're not pregnant by this. You think and you share it.
那你最后呈现出来的效果呢，就有点像是你把你刚刚脑海里面、心里面想的这些内化的构成，再重新构筑成一个画面，然后再分享给大家。你让大家看到说，在画下这幅画之前，我脑海里面、心里面在想是什么，我想要呈现在大家是什么。比如说右边的飞机，绘画的过程它一定会飞走，但是艺术家选择把那个飞机留在画面上，分享给大家看。
可以问问题吗？
可以啊，可以啊。
就是刚刚那四格我没有听得很懂。他画那个桥之前的那个4个格子，就是在决定，就是他在做结构的分析嘛。对，就是想要让这个哪个缝隙大一点，或者是他在，那最后放在这里好像就跟那4张，还是有一些差异嘛，哈。
它比较像是一个 Can we go to the previous page that you have like 3 frames? This one. Is that the process you taste a different angle, or how do you choose? Why do you have these 3 different sketches?
Yeah, like I say, is this stage when like after I kind of observing, then I continue kind of thinking on the paper, right? It's helped me to think more, and I think how I will put it inside. So I want to make sure what I want to be in the drawing will be there. And often for this, it's also about like what kind of perspective you use. Like for example, here you see it's perspective like this, right? On this picture, we have this like perspective, torsion, right? But here it's vertical. It's more vertical. So it's not about like, oh, can I draw it correct? You can see it so many ways. You just like move your head around. It will be like 100 different views. It's really exactly like that. So it's more about what do you want to show. So yeah, I spent some time to make some notes. After also when I was to make this pencil sketch on a big size, like before ink, I was make some pencil here. It also was some more and more like thinking, like little adjustment. But if I will start, like now I prefer more just draw in pencil here, and I will erase, draw again, so it will be very dirty, you know, but it's okay, because I like to see what will be proportions on the actual paper, because on the thumbnails, like I don't want, but sometimes I will do thumbnails again, if it's very difficult to view.
那这3张画其实 看上去很类似，但我们仔细观察的话，它的角度有些微的不同，所以就像是他在决定他到底要取景取到哪个角度之前的过程，他先测试看看这3张画。所以像左上角红色的那张，它其实视角比较低一点，有点像是我们可能蹲在旁边的一个视角。然后呢，它的透视有2个透视点，一个就是柱子往上的透视点，然后另外一个透视点是道路往右前方前进的透视点。那像下面那幅画呢，它就会稍微比较平面一点，有点像是我们用站着的角度去平视的所有事情，所以它的透视点比较像是我的画面是视线往前的，它就没有像左上角那幅画一样有往上面跟往右前方的2个透视点。那其实他也刚刚有提到说，重点不在于说我要把东西画得多精确，因为有时候会落入一个我必须要画得很准确，然后我必须反复的擦掉再重新画的过程。那其实这样子的过程的话，应该是要在一开始你在取景的时候就决定好了。
好，谢谢。
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, also like here, you see, this kind of things. Like also one thing is like we have very bad habit to draw boring things. Like when children draw sun and house, all this stuff, we kind of in this moment we have this thing. We start to draw everything some kind of super boring, and you need also like making some kind of this kind of sketch to help your brain to change it. So say like, hey, look how cool is this swoosh here, right? Like, whoosh. It's like this like angle, very interesting angle. If I will directly draw, I will draw somehow it's much more generic and boring. But I need to so often it's very small nuance. You need to push yourself to little go or like make sure it will be like sharp like that, or angle will be like exactly, because if you make you somehow I don't know why you want to make it always like everything more like basic kind of, so you like no it should be like exactly like this, so it's like also this is how your hand will change, like you never make this move before, now you push yourself, you like make little effort, and now you can, okay, now I have like more fine moves instead of just like kind of this circles everywhere. Now I can draw this like kind of ellipses, right? Like I can like if I don't know like a draw like for boy for example who draw cars, right? This you start to notice car wheels have different perspective. Then here is very important is this thing, you see how it's like sharp, it's this thing, you see, very important. Then, so all this like very fine nuances, you need to battle them to get into your vocabulary, because otherwise you will always draw this kind of I don't know.
那老师在解释说，当我们在看到一个场景的时候，我们尽量去找平常我们可能不会画的角度，或是尽量去找我们平常比较难以观察到的地方。就比如说我们在画道路好了，假设我讲道路，可能大家脑海里面出现就是一条直直的金城武大道之类的道路。但是呢，他反而特别去选这种有弯曲角度的道路。然后有弯曲角度道路的话，它除了有线条上的变化，它的画面的延伸感也会稍微比较远一点。那这也是一个很好练习。我们平常画道路都是画直的，可是呢，我们现在难得有可以画弯曲的道路的机会，那他就希望说，我们把握住这个机会，把这个场景画下来。那像很多物件交接的地方，或者是有些物件它线条即将要消失的地方，就比如说我们一个轮胎好了，我们一个轮胎的角度，或是一个侧面，或者说像老师比的这个一个柱子它光影交接的地方，可能都是我们平常比较难去观察到的。但是要是我们把这个大重点 真实的呈现在你的画面上的话，那你的画面的故事性啊，或者说你的细节就会比平常人增加了非常多。
So what is also interesting when like from all this internet when we look how people draw nature, like no, I mean like urban sketch or whatever, right? Just make this one. It will be much better painting than 80% of all this stuff on the internet. Just this pigeon with this piece of this sink, you know, and how much it's more simple than the rest of this stuff.
那假设我们是刚开始练习在画所谓的街头速写，或者是我们想要去外面画写生的时候，一开始我们也可以取一个很小的景。比如说一个有涂鸦的柱子的角落，也许就可以让我们画上一整天了。
So, and also imagine, just imagine, like you put frame here, right? You put it in a frame. Here you see this triangle, right? This triangle, this thing. So this is also it's like abstract. Like a Kandinsky kind of stuff, you know, like a Malevich or whatever it is.
那即使是我们把一个景框放到一个马路上，我们也可以看到说，这个光影交界的地方形成了很多个小小的三角形，去把这个画面构成下来。那也许这个很有趣的景和线条，就可以让你的画面增添许多趣味性。
So many stuff. It's just, but you slowly, year by year, each new picture will be little better. The more you will have more and more and more. Like you see this drummer, like can imagine, right? Like drum, like I cannot make a different rhythm, but then you see people like use all their hands and legs and do this crazy music on the drums. You just slowly make it more and more advanced.
那我们绘画也是需要经过练习，从一开始初阶练习到后来，你慢慢的可以去处理很多的元素在同一张画面里面。就像打鼓或是鼓手，有人可能一开始学只能一次打一个鼓，但是你学到最后，爵士鼓是有很多个很多个种乐器，很多种鼓，然后你可能还甚至需要手脚并用来一起打鼓。
Yeah, it's just important is this right approach. It will lead you to improvement. If you doesn't have this right approach, you will even don't understand what are you doing. It's kind of whole point.
那其实想要很顺利的进步，也是要靠这一系列的程序，然后慢慢的按照这个程序去练习，那你的进步才会是比较显著的，因为永远知道说我现在这个时候在做事情是什么。
Also about sketch, how I approach it. I don't think much about how I make pencil. It's more like a sculpture for me. So let's say like I want to make head, let's say, right? So I was thinking like, okay, what is big? How big? Like Tosha, right? Like this big, let's say. Then
亲爱的游客您好。
something.
本馆假日免费教育推广活动木艺小学堂，
对老师来讲
将于本日下午2点
打草稿，其实就像是捏雕塑一样的效果。
25分钟，
它是要去决定说这个东西要多大、多小、多远、多近，然后它上面的细节跟重点是什么。
So you try to get it more like to general shape, kind of, right? You try to find this general form, some kind of. How around this, like what, like say here will be like this, like eyes area kind of will be here. Here will be like a face, let's say, right? So it's not details. It's just you're trying to find some kind of overall thing.
那就像你拿到个陶土，你想要很快的把一个人的头给捏出来，那你最需要决定的是，比如说他的头有多大多小。然后他的眼睛、鼻子、五官的位置呢，大概会落在哪里
？Then maybe like how much important is find very general things, because then it's just like this. Some things they don't change much, just like little addition, little adjustment. It's like very little. Like right now, how much has changed? Almost nothing changed, right? So it's all what teach in art academy and this stuff. It's like how you understand gradually from general to specific, and this way you have control.
那我们慢慢的从一个大范围的一个画面的一个物件，然后慢慢的去缩小到说我们的细节要去怎么处理。那这些细节只要有一点点的小调整，它的整个形象就会慢慢的更清楚。比如说我再加上眼睛，我再加上鼻子、耳朵，那它的这个整个人脸的形态呢就会越来越具体。
More abstract. So then we kind of mouth, right? Like it's way back. Okay, so something, let's say like this. So I have some general understanding, right? So now I can work inside of it to refine it. So you know how it's different, right? So now I can take like ink, let's say, right? And start to refine. I say, okay, over here will be like zwei bar, like zwei jun lip. Here then I will start to make like more subtle nuances kind of, right?
那最后就来到精修的阶段，那这时候他可能就会用一些水彩啊，或是有颜色的颜料下去做一些精修跟调整。
So we can just watch on YouTube how they make sculpture kind of this stuff. So same with the drawing. First it's something like that, like it's for me. I want to make sure like where is this house is more important. Now when I know where is it, I can have fun and just draw details on it. I don't need to nervous anymore about proportion. I know where is it.
那这个同样的过程套用到绘画上面也是，就比如说房子，我先决定了好位置之后呢，位置跟比例决定好了，我就开始来处理它的细节。那在处理细节之前，我都不需要去过度的担心。
Okay, so watercolor I already show you. So general idea is like it's one of sequence, and I think like most easy and fast to do with the line art. Kind of like here, first you do colors, like from going from light colors to later more make it darker. No, it's usual for watercolor. First, you just show where is which colors. So it's some kind of yellowish, this kind of colors.
那这个是他接下来要开始上色的过程。那上色的过程都要从浅色的大范围的开始，所以画面上你看它从黄色跟背景的绿色、蓝色，然后慢慢的去再增加不同的植栽的深浅，然后还有建筑物的颜色。
So then you start to include shadow. So when you have colors, after you put shadows above, like a second layer in Photoshop, kind of transparent shadow.
第二层、第三层开始把阴影加上去。
And in the last stage, you just make some adjustments, like some details, a little kind of.
那阴影完成了之后呢，再把一些细节给补充上去。
So like here, for example, have some colors, shadow, blue, just one color for shadow. It's kind of, and then little fix. Oops.
那像这边的过程也是，就是从一开始的线条、底色，然后再慢慢的加上阴影，阴影之后层次就出来。那阴影呢，比如说阴影它跟雪都是用同样的浅蓝色的色调去表现。
So and this will be like, let's say, this stage will be like take 80% when you just make colors. When you, let's say, put these colors kind of for everything, it's like 80% of your time. Then 20% for a shadow, and 5% when you will like make little details.
那它其实标的那个百分比啊，不是说它的完成度，而是指说它的时间，或是说它画的范围。就比如说80%，我都只是先上一层底色。我上了底色之后，我画面上80%基本上都已经有了颜色。那再来的15%， 我可能再加上一些阴影的部分，5%我再去精修一些细节。那我们可以去比较出来说，即使这些细节只占了画面的5%，可是我们左右比较一下，就是说马上可以比较出来，它这个小小的5%可以带给画面所呈现出来的完整度，其实就已经差异蛮多的了。
Yeah, anyway, now it will be here in a second. Just again in the watercolor here. You can see it in Instagram. I think he called like Josh Graham in the numbers. It's a Korean artist. He always uses this approach. First, he draw color for everything, like very light colors, like this, kind of very light. And second step, he puts a shadow. You see, it's just a like little gray blue. So then we start to, you can make it like a volume, or you can just separate on light and shadow. It will be work great too. And after, just a little like small details, like this way you will save yourself from being stuck on like a wrong thing. Like when you know, like if you start from details and you like stuck there 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, like picture still not finished, and you're not sure it's good or not. Here, everything bad, everything wrong, but it's finished, and you do next picture. But when you don't have process and you don't have a good sequence, you will stuck and it's like, oh, I want it better, but problem is just you don't know what to do next. You're stuck somewhere between something. So that's why I suggest like this technique, for example. You just try to do this, stick to it. Say like now I do only simple light color, just so no details, don't shadow. Then now only shadow, just like here, there, here, finish. And after, like here, right? Shadow is like, it's like one big shadow. One big shadow.
那老师他现在建议的绘画程序呢，就是我们一次只处理一件事情，我们一次只处理基本线条，我们一次只处理底色，我们一次就处理整个画面的阴影处，然后再来就回到细节。那假设我把这张画拿到风景处，你可能会发现说，其实完全不是100%正确的。我可能房子不是完全按照房子的100%正确的样子画，可是呢，最终我还是完成了这张画。那也同样的道理，要是我们一开始就很讲究说，我要把某样东西的细节一开始就要画得很完整的话呢，我反而会被这个细节困住，然后这张画可能就卡在那边卡很久，因为我永远都觉得我画不完，我细节永远画不完。但是你要是按照这样的步骤，我们一次有点像是一层一层一层的，慢慢把这幅画的一个图层给叠加上去的话，那其实这张画很快就可以完成。那完成了之后呢，我们有其他新的想法，我们有其他想画的下一个地方，我们就可以持续的继续画下去。
Okay, we'll go, like, wait this loading and prepare to go outside.
Should we take our bag all outside? 我们要把我们包包都带出去吗？还是晚点会回来 ？Will we go back here?
No.
那我们那个包包都带着，东西也都带着，因为很有可能我们出去这一趟就直接在户外解散了。Then we 10 minutes break after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
那我们休息10分钟，10分钟后我们就是在外面集合。
对，上个厕所。
对。